Hi, everyone. And today I have my friend Charles.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for inviting me.
And do you have any backgrounds? Can you do a short introduce?
Sure. I'm originally from Hamilton, Ontario. That's in the east of Canada.
Oh.
And I taught English in Taiwan for 2 years.
So you're an English teacher.
I was an English teacher, and then I went to school to be a nurse. And I worked as an emergency nurse in Vancouver for a number of years. And after that, I traveled for a little while before deciding to go back to school. And I went to university and I got a degree in gender studies and in sociology.
Wow.
And then I decided that I was going to take a little break. So for about a year, I worked at a veterinary clinic and helped out with adorable little dogs and adorable little cats that needed some love.
Oh my gosh.
And during that time, I was trying to think about what I would do next. And I thought the best way to use the things I learned in my degrees to connect them together would be to come here and do social work so I could learn how to apply those things that I learned. So that's how I got here.
That is so cool. And I was amazed by your life experiences. I think just one episode is not enough for Charles. You have a lots of story to tell, I can tell. And yeah, and today, do you want to share something, your living experience in Taiwan? Have you learned any Chinese?
Is it 我不会说? Is that?
Very good.
谢谢. I had such a wonderful time in Taiwan. I was there in 2004 and 2005 and a little bit of 2006. And when I was there, it was before we had smartphones. So we did have cell phones to sort of coordinate with each other. But there was a whole big community of people that were teaching that came from all over the world, as well as all of our Taiwanese friends that we made. And we were really engaged with each other, and we did lots of activities, and we had lots of fun, and late night conversations and fun adventures. Going to the beach or going to hike in the mountains, or just walking around the city and seeing, the different memorials and Dr. Sun Yat-sen memorial, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful to be in the moment with all of those great people. And I think that's something that I try to remember now that things are kind of different and we kind of have a different relationship with our phones. I try to remember to, put it down and connect with the people around and do things with them. And
yeah. Exactly. Are you still have connection with those friends when you're walking in Taiwan?
Sure. Two of them in particular, when they were leaving Taiwan, they asked me where a good place in Canada to go and live would be. And I said, Canmore and Banff.
Yeah, I like Canmore as well.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Grassy Lake.
Grassy Lakes is gorgeous.
Peak. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Johnson's Canyon. And there's,
yeah.
And so they moved there. And over the years, I lived there off and on, a year here, a year there. And they got married while we were living together, and then they ended up having 2 girls. And I was living with them for when their first daughter Amelia was born.
Wow.
So for the first year or so of her life, I was there looking after her every day and sharing in some of the duties. And they still live there now. The girls are 14 and 10, and we stay very connected. And we actually have a group of friends from Taiwan are coming in the end of July. We're having a big reunion in Canmore.
Wow. It's very wonderful connection. Yeah, to be a friend like that. And do you have any advice to the people just come to Canada for study or learning? And when I just come to Canada, I feel very struggling because first is the language, 2 is the culture, and I don't know how to make new friends. I know that go to school is a very good way, but not everyone get a chance to go to school especially for the new immigrants. And even though the international student, they come to school, they still can just engage with the more comfortable zone. So do you have any suggestion or anything you can give them to break the walk out to the comfort zone?
I think finding a community is a really important part of this. You said school, that's one. Different sports organizations, different meetup groups. For some people, it's going to church or going to some other religious community. But if those aren't things that you have access to, maybe finding people that are here before you get here. Talk to your network of people back home and say, do you know anyone that's living there? Do you know anyone that has family there? And even if you don't know them very well, it's just a good starting point so that when you get here, you have someone that, you share cultural experiences with, shared language, just to have a little feeling of home. So you feel, a bit more secure, a bit more comfortable. And then you kind of build out from there. You meet their friends who might be from Alberta or from other parts of the world. And you sort of start with that base of at least having people that you feel comfortable around and try to get more involved. There's a meetup app, there's different leagues that you can join. So just try to get involved, I think, is the way to do it.
Like trying to get involved and also stay active.
Yes. Involved, active, and I think you shouldn't be afraid to spend time with people that you might know from back home or have connections with. Like, you don't need to immediately get to know people in Alberta.
Exactly.
When I got to Taiwan, I was living with other people that were foreign English teachers.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
And I sort of got to know them and got to know friends. I was speaking English, and they would help me understand what it's like to live here because they'd been here before, right? So I didn't understand the signs because I didn't speak Mandarin, and they sort of helped me to navigate and taught me. And then once I felt sort of comfortable and secure, then I started to make Taiwanese friends and kind of build a community out that way. So I don't think you should be afraid to, if you need to stay a little bit more with your community a bit to start, that's okay.
That is a very good point. Yeah, thank you. It's very, very insightful.
第二部分音乐交流，给查理斯推荐周深的歌曲，查理斯推荐他最喜欢的音乐博客以及书籍。
That little boy Zhou Shen, and also Li Jun, she's very famous in China. So they both will sing together.
And she's AI and he's real?
Yes, she's AI.
Wow.
I don't know the video quality was so bad.
Oh, I may have. That was like 11 years ago. Beautiful voices. Yeah, it doesn't quite have the mouth moving and your lips moving quite right. Oh, there's a shadow even, or like a reflection. That's so cool. Wow.
How did you feel about the slow bits music? Do you like it?
I do. I really enjoy it. Something I could imagine being out somewhere and listening and just sort of being in this like calm place and just really absorbed by this beautiful, kind of slow, peaceful music. This song have been written recently? Like, is this a new song?
No, it's a very old song.
Okay.
Very
I was wondering because it has those sort of traditional instruments.
It's very traditional.
Oh, it's beautiful. What were they singing about?
They're singing a little town story.
Little town story?
Like a welcome, you go to our little town, and when you walk around the little town's road, you can feel the vibes and like a very gentle, inviting song. Like welcome you to go to my hometown. My hometown is a very small town, and when you walk around the small town, you can feel this and this.
Is it a metaphor for anything?
Yes, and also a gentle invitation. Like invite you to go to my hometown. Yeah. And
With the hometown, this gentle place that you can go, is that like their heart, maybe?
Yes, that may be. And I would introduce this. He is very famous. His name is called Zhou Shen, and his English name also is called Charlie. Yeah. So I will share.
I like
what
that.
What type of music do you like?
I guess I like a lot of different kinds of music. It sort of depends on where I'm at. I grew up going to musicals. So I saw, Les Miserables and Phantom of the Opera and Rent and what else did we see? Miss Saigon and The Lion King and on and on and on and on. So like those big theatrical musical pieces. So I really like that kind of music. And I sang when I was younger in performances like that. I was in a choir for a long, long time. And I grew up, I was in high school in the sort of early and mid 1990s. So that was when sort of grunge and alternative, Nirvana and Pearl Jam and Soundgarden and the Beastie Boys and Smashing Pumpkins and Rage Against the Machine I was a big fan of, and Tool and all of those bands, Stone Temple Pilots, and so that's always close to my heart. And I really enjoy hip hop from that time period as well. Artists like Mos Def, artists like Dead Prez. I guess the Beastie Boys would be considered hip hop as well. So those are the three I sort of mainly like. And I've been DJing now for, almost 20 years. And I play drum and bass is kind of my favorite. But I like playing some funky stuff, some funky kind of hip hoppy kind of stuff. And, sometimes I'll play some techno and sometimes I'll play some fun house music. But yeah, drum and bass is where my heart's at when it comes to DJing.
So if you can recommend 3 songs to our audience, what would you recommend?
3 songs?
3 songs.
Right now, I've been listening to a Canadian band called I Mother Earth a lot, and there's a song, 3 Days Old, on their Scenery and Fish album that I really like. I've been listening to a lot of Canadian music. I've been listening to Billy Talent, and on that one album, there's so many good songs. I'm blanking on the name of the album right now. It has Cut the Curtains on it. And I have also been listening to a Canadian band called Alexis on Fire and their album Watch Out. So those would be my 3 musical recommendations right now. Check it out. Some good old Canadian rock and roll.
Yeah, so I will show you Zhou Shen's song. I think it's trying to.
我是周深，你们好吗？
Yeah, ma. Oh, wow.
Waiting for the one to find a way. 1,000 times, nothing come and go. Who was from
It sounds like something that would be in a musical. That's sort of like emotional storytelling kind of song. It's beautiful.
Do you like his voice?
Very impressive. He almost has a soprano voice.
And some people will feel his voice a little bit bare because it sounds like more female.
You know the term falsetto? It's when usually a male singer will sing up a couple octaves to be able to hit alto and soprano notes. I can't do an impression of it right now, but it sounds like that would be his normal range.
Yes.
And then when he goes way up, he's singing falsetto.
Oh, yeah, falsetto.
It's sort of softer.
Yes.
Wow. And what's his name?
Zhou Shen.
Charlie. Very famous?
Very, very famous
Very, very
in
famous?
China. I think he's around these few years, the most popular singer in China.
Wow. Wow.
How do you feel about his English?
That was good.
Can you hear very clearly what he's speaking?
Sure.
English?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I could understand him. Yeah, I have nothing to say against anybody that tries to speak English because I cannot speak Mandarin. I do a much poorer job, so.
No, you're doing good.
I remember I would get into taxis in Taipei and I would say my address. And the taxi driver was like, what? Say it again. What? Say it again. And on the 4th or 5th time, they would repeat it back to me and say, "Oh, you mean here?" And they would say back to me, I'm like, yes, I think I said that 4 or 5 times. Clearly I didn't. Maybe you can tell me where my address was. I lived at Leu Uleu Minzu Donu.
66民族东路，很好呀。
Does that make sense?
Very good.
And the
You wanna
taxi
go
drivers
back?
didn't know. I don't understand why. Clearly that was perfect.
Okay. Drive Charles to 66民族东路。
Yes, please. It was a great place.
And can you share some books and also the podcast that you're listening, which is you feel that friendly to our audience, like learner?
That's tough. I mean, I'm reading a book right now. It's sort of a fantasy novel. It's called The Name of the Wind. I don't know if you've heard of that one or not. It's the first book in a 3-book series. Each book is something like 800 pages. But it's a wonderful read. The way it's written is really enjoyable. It's not just that the story is really interesting, but the language, it just flows in this really beautiful way. So it's a little bit tricky, I think, for someone that's picking up English as a second language, but if you can give it a try, it might be good. The other book I would recommend, I'm reading a book called Apple in China right now, and it tells the story of the company Apple and how it was built by Chinese manufacturing and Chinese supply chains and infrastructure, and without all of that support, Apple wouldn't be anything. Like it wouldn't exist as a company. And how remarkable what these Chinese companies and the Chinese people were able to do to make this happen. So Apple owes all of its success to to the Chinese people. It's a fascinating read. It's a history of Apple, so I would recommend that. And as far as podcasts go, there is an easy one that I listen to every day called Today Explained.
Today Explained.
Yeah, it's about 25 minutes long. It just picks something that's going on in the world and gives like a nice 20-minute, 25-minute explanation. So it could be a current topic. It could be anything like art, culture, could be politics. If there's some cool science discovery, and they just sort of teach you what happens. And it's probably easier for someone who is learning English to listen to.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah, it's a good listen.
Recommendation.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for today's interview.
You're very welcome.
I'm so happy to hear your story and everything you're sharing. It's just very, very appreciate that.